Hey guys, welcome back. Panzer King here, bringing you the 1943 summary of Operation Winter Solace. A lot has happened in this turn as well. Many sad things and good things and bad things and happy things. But you know what? It's been a very interesting turn, to say the least. The Japanese, and I think we'll start with the Japanese here. Japanese lost a fleet, tried a kamikaze attack, and both failed utterly. We were able to damage the American Third Fleet here in the Battle of Formosa, which is indicated by this marker here. And we were able to damage some of their capital ships, but a lot of their main ships survived the battle. So, unfortunately, because of that, the Philippines fell, Formosa fell. And now recently, this turn, the Americans have taken Korea. And not good for the Japanese Empire. The Japanese responded last turn to build the Shinano, a fast battleship, as well as a few other surface ships and a submarine to hold off the American tide. But as you can see, many ships are constantly being reinforced. And my feel is he might be heading for China. You can see the new sculpts I put on here for the Chinese CCP Air Force, because he might be landing in Korea to possibly get back into China to help his KMT, or this might be a more imposing attack on Japan. So we'll have to see. But definitely, I've already talked to my Russian counterpart, and he is pretty much confirmed that his troops probably will be marching into Manchuria and taking over the Manchurian territory next turn, or possibly even the Rihe territory, to help combat against the Americans. Now, he can, however, bring down his forces here in Vladivostok into Korea, I believe. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure those are connected. If so, that would be a very interesting battle, and I'm sure once the Russians take territory, they're probably not going to give it back. But there's nothing Japan can do about it, unfortunately, right now. Japan luckily still holds her southern empire with Singapore, Sumatra, Java, Borneo, but we'll see for how long. We still have all the Dutch colonies under our control. Australia is prepping for invasion to take some of these territories back from the Japanese. But it is what it is. So, like I say, the CCP is doing very well, marching down here into Burma here, and of course, threatening. I think some of this might be out of date, but I'll have to check with my CCP counterpart. But anyways, down here, they basically have control over northeast India. And, there's not a lot of ships in the area because the British evacuated their fleet out of here to go back up north. But there's not a lot of threats either with the Japanese. So the Japanese, or the Far East Command, did take Siam away from the Japanese as well this turn. So the CCP also might take advantage and take that territory for their own, but we'll see. Over here in the Middle East, the Soviets were victorious in taking southern Iran, and their Katyushas, as well as their mighty Red Air Force, did very well in that battle, and were quite fortunate, and have parked themselves in Azerbaijan, possibly looking towards maybe a Western attack into Cairo or Egypt, or might move on down into India. So that is a possibility, and we'll see what the Russians do in 16.2. The Germans, however, they may make a move into Iraq. It is worth $2, but it does block Russian progress, meaning that I'll have to fight the British on my own, which is a possibility. But the $2 there, plus the $2 bonus, would help out the coffers, as well as Syria as well, with another $1 more as well. So we'll have to wait and see. I haven't quite committed on my German turn yet, and I've been pondering various possibilities. But that pretty much wraps up the things on this side of the board. Japan's not doing horrible, but also not doing great at the same time either. But we kind of knew this was going to happen, and the Americans have been pouring the bulk of their money into this sector of the Pacific. So obviously that's where they're going to try to reclaim some victory points and take back some of their territory. So we'll see what happens and see what they have in store for us. So anyways, over here, the Italians have been fairly neutral. They've recalled their fleet from the Central Pacific and brought them down here to Sea Zone 78, so kind of the lower half of it. And that's where that fleet is staying right now. But their submarine flotillas have gone back into the Mediterranean, right here and right here, and their home fleet is still based off the coast of Italy. Italy has been playing the Lend-Lease card right now. Just last turn they Lend-Leased Junkers, I believe it's a 322 glider transport plane to the Germans. And yes, the Italians haven't done very much at all. The Vichy did try to attack this Free French fleet here, but were unlucky in both naval battles with a destroyer and one with a cruiser and a submarine. And basically did not put up much of a fight. So now the Free French are able to roam the seas free of will. This is also a Russian sub, as well as here and here, up here. So the Russians also could probably cause some damage in the Atlantic if they so choose to. While we're on the topic of German U-boats, I'm not quite sure what these will do. They might head over here into this side of the Atlantic. Since the Americans don't have anti-submarine warfare, we can help try our improved hunting grounds over there, which might not be a bad idea. So that's what the Germans might do next turn. But for now, like I say, this part of the map has been fairly quiet, which is understandable. The Americans, however, since the Italian fleet has backed off, they have started to build up a little bit more on the east, brought 2 infantry up into Ottawa, and have started shuffling their ships to help support England. And that's where we'll go next. The United Kingdom has started to get more and more American troops. They have now 6 American troops, and they've spread out their forces, and they have 3 American troops in a militia in Scotland, some here in north of England, British Midlands as well. But the Germans still hold London. Last turn, the British brought in some AA guns and took off 2 German fighters, which I call the sneaky jinx maneuver. It's kind of a similar maneuver I wanted to do in Paris, but never quite worked out with my anti-aircraft gun. Or I shouldn't say Paris, in France, but like I say, that's a different story. Way in the past. And but the Germans here are steadily building up their air force. You can see they still have quite a bit of bulk of their air force on the Western Front. They have a heavy strategic bomber now, 2 strategic bombers, 3 fighters, 2 medium bombers, and a seaplane over there. And of course on the Eastern Front, we have a medium bomber down here on Crete, an air transport plane, a Stuka dive bomber, as well as a fighter in Romania. So this is a possible entry point into Syria with the Turkish forces. But nonetheless, we also still have to protect our borders on the Eastern Front and prepare for a possible Russian invasion, or an invasion into Russia, rather. So I have slowly been building up tanks, mechanized, under medium tank and medium tank mechanized. Bought 2 Panzer Grenadiers last turn, and I'm definitely going to build them this turn, plus a few bonuses, which you'll have to watch in 16.1 and see what happens there. But yeah, that's Germany in a nutshell. I wish we had more money. We do have a lot, but I wish we had more for some more bigger purchases. But that's where Italy's kind of helping us out here too as well. So we'll see what happens next turn. Germany, there are rumors that they have their eyes on Scotland, but we'll see what happens. Maybe the far reaches of the empire, just like the Roman Empire, maybe they'll reach as north as Scotland and possibly as far south as Syria and or Iraq. In the Soviet Union, let's zoom in here. I've updated most of my sculpts here. I still got a few more pieces right here, but the new color, I absolutely love it. I really do like it. And you can see right here, here are the Stormoveks, the Russian Stormoveks I just painted up, which are my new tactical bombers, as well as these guys here in Azerbaijan. So aside from that, Russia and Germany are still very peaceful on this border, but that could change as we enter into 1944 because of the variable ending. And that variable ending probably will result in our recent talks of having Hilltop roll he'll have the honor of rolling the dice. And what we're probably going to do is we're probably all going to watch that at the same time and see what happens, and we'll probably post that on our German turn. This way it will give us, and you can call it a house rule if you want, but at least this will give us a chance, if we know it's our final turn, if in 1945 we finally roll a dice that says the war is ending this year, then at least Germany and all the other nations after that will have a chance to modify or change the course of the war, hopefully in their favor, so that they can either steal or take victory points in that final turn. But it still is to keep in mind, you're also playing the odds too, right? I mean, Germany could attack Russia, and in 1944, thinking that the war is going to end that turn, but in fact, the war won't end for 3 more turns, because it's all going to be on the luck, on the roll of the dice. But it could also end that turn too. But at least it gives us that one turn, once we know, for every nation to have one shot at trying to seize as many victory points as they can, which I think is a bit of an interesting conclusion. And also will give us a chance to sign off and give us a farewell for each of our channels, for each of our nations rather, on our channels, so that you guys can see how each of us ended it the best way we can, right? Because our buy will obviously probably be very defensive in nature, especially if we know it's going to end. But yeah, I think it'll be a lot of fun. And it was Jinx who proposed that we give that honor to Hilltop, and I seconded, and I think that's what we're gonna do. So we'll add that video, or at least that conversation, into the beginning of the German turn of each turn, and this way then you'll have to watch and know whether it will be our final turn or if we'll be going on to another. So that quickly, I think, pretty much concludes the summary of everything that's been going on here. There's many peaceful places on the map, and also there has been many war-torn areas of the map, right? And this could be a very big one here in 44. Also, this theater too, but possibly this one. But we'll have to wait and see, guys. That's the thing I love about this game. 3 sides, you never know when the other side's gonna break and betray the other. So stay tuned, and thanks for watching, guys. I realize there is literally hundreds of you out there that are watching this and seeing how it goes. And I only hope that you guys enjoy the quality of our videos, enjoy the way we've structured our videos, because all of us are doing different ways and different things. And hopefully that this YouTube War series has been a success and will continue on being a success with more in the future. Anyways, guys, this is Panzer King signing off with my summary here, not to give away too much for the upcoming German turn, and we will see you guys for 16.1 January 1944. You guys all stay classy, and we'll catch you later. Take care, everyone.